start there.
Welcome to HuskerExtra.com. I'm Brian Christopherson, joined by Steve Sipple. How you doing, Steve?
Good.
Here we are outside the stadium, 100 baking degrees. It's hot. We wore our black shirts. That's a good idea. It's Nebraska-Wyoming, the season opener. For 8 months, there's been talk, a lot of questions about the defense. How are they going to be? All these young kids. What are you looking for tonight? There's so many guys you can pick out, really, or so many things on that side of the ball that you can examine.
You know what I'm looking for, really, a lot? It's hard to gauge, but body language. I want to see if there's anarchy at times out there with, David Santos trying to direct traffic in the middle. He's sophomore. He's only made one career start. 2 new safeties, Brian, who have to make calls. We've seen it in the past, early in Bo's tenure, where guys weren't getting lined up. You could see it, and you can see it in other teams, too. You can just tell that things aren't quite right. I want to see how that goes tonight.
You know what I'm looking for? I'm looking to see if they have erasers on the defensive side of the balls. We've talked so much about the D-line, and that's important. Let's not get it wrong. But you got to have some guys at that linebacker spot, guys like Santos, guys like Zaire Anderson, maybe Nathan Gary. They've got to be able to clean up things because it's not going to be perfect up front all the time. And when there are imperfections, you need a Santos or an Anderson to close the door quickly. That's something I don't think they had last year.
Well, and we don't know if they have it this year. Yeah. We'll see if it presents itself. Maybe Corey Cooper's that guy. It has to be an explosive guy who's a sure tackler, and we don't know if Nebraska has that right now. That's a good point.
All right, on offense, people are kind of just taking it for granted that Nebraska's going to move it up and down the field, I think, and there's maybe reason to do that. Wyoming ranked about 100th in defense last year, but you do want to see them take care of the football. That's been the big thing. All fall camp, they said they've only fumbled it once or twice. That's what Taylor Martinez said. Now they kind of got to prove it on the big stage, don't they?
Yeah, I think people will grumble if Nebraska starts putting it on the turf and Taylor throws a couple picks. I would hope that doesn't happen, and Nebraska should move up and down the field against this defense. Wyoming's pretty small up front, 2 new interior guys in their line. They weren't a good run defense last year at all. A lot of those guys are back. I think Nebraska should run for 300 yards tonight. I don't think that's expecting too much.
All right, we've only been out here 3 minutes. I'm already starting to sweat, so good. I'm earning my paycheck. So we better get out of here before I have sweat streaming down my face. Stay tuned to HuskerExtra.com for all the latest.